This video is actually a special request after publishing my SL2500 video yesterday and showing some of my old machines. A few people wanted to see my SL8600 and see if it still works. So I'm going to drag it down, power it up, and see if it works. Highly unlikely, but you never know. This one here is, well, 48 years old, I guess? Let's check this one out. It's my second oldest beta that I have. This is the second oldest Betamax that I own. This is the SL8600. It's a single speed X2 machine. So it records and plays in Beta 2. This machine did work. I don't know if it works now because it hasn't been turned on in probably 8 years. Same with the SL7200, which I also have. Maybe we'll drag that one out and see if it still works. But today we're going to turn this one on and see if it works. So first things first, I'm going to pop the top cover, which is easy because there's no screws in it. For some reason I had a habit of, when I was back the days when I was using these things, remove the screws because it made it easy to get to clean the heads. Turn the motor and we'll see that the drum spins, which means that the belt is good. This is a belt drive system. Let's turn it on. I got snow coming from the tuner. If I connected the cable, I should probably get a picture from it. Not a very good picture. Now, this has got problems. Big time problems. Take a look at the picture. Yeah, it's the video level is way too high. We'll see how the mechanical tuner is. Yeah, it needs to be cleaned. That's channel 9 there. That should be my cameras. Again, yeah, grossly over modulated. Channel 5. The tuner needs some work, but we don't worry about that. Let's see if it plays the tape. Eject. Do I dare put my tape into this? Well, that's not right. It should load. It should load that tape as soon as the tape goes in. Obviously it's a switch or something that's not, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a switch or something that's not engaging. We'll just try this a few times. Okay, it loaded. I don't think it's gonna play. I don't think it's even finished the loading cycle actually. Now it has. Had to help it there. It's not going to play. Not going to play. There's no way it's going to play. It's trying. I'm telling you, it's trying to play, but nah, it's not going to do it. This thing needs work. You know, this is from 1977, this machine, so it's, or is it 78? 77 or 78. It's old. It's old. You know, this thing's almost 50 years old. 48 years. Maybe it'll lock in. Maybe it won't. It hasn't been run for a while, so maybe if I let it sit here for a few minutes, it'll actually lock in. It's not synchronizing the drum servo. Now, the drum servo on these machines, for those that aren't familiar with it, it uses that big AC motor to spin the drum, which will spin it faster than it needs to go. And then there's a magnetic brake that slows it down and allows for some slippage of the belt. Of course, if the belt is worn out and is slipping to begin with, that will certainly cause that type of a distorted picture. You can see that the horizontal is not locking in because it's hunting. Now it might lock in here if I give it a few minutes. It looks like it's getting closer to locking in, so it may lock in after it runs for a few minutes, just because it's been sitting for a long time. I'm just going to try just tweaking the bias for the servo. Okay, well that's got that going now. We've got the drum in the right speed. So there's basically only one servo on these. It's the drum servo. There is no capstan servo because the capstan is driven from a belt drive off the same motor. So this motor here drives, one belt drives the drum and the other belt drives through a reduction pulley, drives the capstan. So there is no capstan servo. There's just one servo, and that servo is for the head drum over here. And I just adjust the bias for it. There's another one down here called Playback lock. I wonder if that will have any effect. These controls are probably pretty bad because they've been, sitting around for many years. I don't think this screwdriver is even the right size to tweak it. Let's try. Will this one do it? Nope, that's too big. It might be a little Phillips. I'll just try a small Phillips one. See what adjusts this thing. I think I'm reading the odd track because if I do this, I get a color picture for a moment. I'll show you. So I'll slow the motor momentarily. You see, I'll get a color picture, and then I'll get a good color picture, and then it drops out. So I think the head is 180. It's reading the wrong track. It's reading the A head is reading the B. I think that's what's going on here. It could be wrong, but I think that's what's going on here. And if that's the case, I may be able to just reposition the audio control head slightly. That will shift over because it's out of the range of the tracking control. And this one was tweaked so much before, it's probably not even close. For one thing, this is a Super Beta tape, and I'm trying to play it on a regular machine, which is crazy because this is a low band machine. Not only is this a Super Beta tape, but it's also Beta Hi-Fi. I'll rewind this tape. I will try another tape that is not in Hi-Fi. Oh, that drum's spinning awful slow for rewind. I think we have some belt slippage on here too. Either that or the brake is slowing it down. That could be the brake is coming on and slowing down the drum. But the tape is rewinding, be it slow. I hadn't planned on putting any time or effort into this. This was kind of a, let's just drag this machine out and see if it still works. And it does. Sort of. It doesn't, but it does. It does and it doesn't. We'll see if we can get it to play back a little better. But this is not going to be a repair, at least not at this point on this machine. This was just kind of haul this relic out and see whether it even still turns on. Well, it does that, but say the video is overloaded coming off the tuner, and the servo is not playing back properly. But again, that could be this tape being Super Beta, because this was definitely a low band machine. At least that part works. I'll try a basic, I just made a quick recording off of Betacam to Betamax in Beta 2 low band, no Super Beta in other words, and no hi-fi. Oh, I guess the belt is, that's what's wrong. The belt that operates this is weak. But we'll see if it will play a standard Beta 2 tape. Oh, and it does. See, look, plays it perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. The reason why the color was all messed up on the other one is because the tape was recorded in Super Beta. I can roll the tracking over here. You'll see some tracking interference. Go back to the center position. Right here. Here is center. I'm just gonna reposition that head again to get this centered. These old decks, I'm going to slow the motor momentarily here to see how fast it trains back up. There you go, you see. These old decks that didn't use a capstan servo, they just adjusted the phase of the drum, which is what I'm doing now. I'm rolling the tracking control. You see there's one extreme, you're getting a bit of interference, and then the other extreme is there and back to the middle. But you see when I roll the tracking control, you see the horizontal shift, because we're actually changing the phase of the drum. But the reason it wasn't playing color off the other tape was simply because it's a Super Beta tape. And not only Super Beta, but it's also Beta Hi-Fi. For Beta Hi-Fi, they shifted the carrier up by, I think it was 400 kilohertz, so that they could put the 4 carriers in place. And then for what that ended up doing is because they were taking up 400 kilohertz of the lower sideband, shifting it up in frequency, but they were losing a little bit of detail in there. So the Beta Hi-Fi machines, the picture quality was slightly degraded over standard Beta machines. These old vintage low band machines were designed to play back a very specific FM envelope for the luminance carrier. And it was 1.2 megahertz in bandwidth deviation. But when you start adding things like Beta Hi-Fi and Super Beta, the upper end of that FM carriers shifted up 800 kilohertz. And these old machines were set for a specific bandwidth, and they were expecting it at a specific frequency. The amplifiers more than likely don't have the bandwidth to amplify the higher frequencies coming off of the Super Beta plus Hi-Fi tape, and that's why the demodulator was just taking a fit. When it wasn't synced up and wasn't trained up and it was hunting, because the head speed was increasing and decreasing, that would affect how the bandwidth would show up at the demodulator, so we could see flashes of color in there, but once it locked up, it was out of the bandwidth, and all we saw was that noisy picture. Because as you can see here, a Beta 2 tape recorded with Beta Hi-Fi and Super Beta turned off plays perfect. That other tape that wouldn't play was recorded on the same machine, Super Beta on, Beta Hi-Fi on, and it wouldn't play it. And it plays it with the Super Beta turned off and Beta Hi-Fi. And you know, for a machine that is, what, 48 years old, and I've done nothing to it other than tweak it, I think it's doing pretty good. I'm gonna leave it at this point because there's really nothing to do on this machine. I guess I could try to fix the tuner, but you know, really, come on. We don't have any analog broadcasts anyway, so who cares about the tuner? I'm sure it's the E to E output on the tuner that's too high. Maybe a capacitor's going bad or something in the IF circuit, but You know, for a machine that's as old as this is, and it's still playing, that's doing pretty good. This is my content, so I don't have to worry about anybody making a claim on this one. This was shot on Betacam. This tape, Betacam SP, was this the original tape. That's what I just copied, was the original tape, but it's Betacam SP. It looks pretty good. Actually, it looks damn good. Anyway, that's my old Betamax. Look at this. All these boards are shielded. You have to pull the side cover off to undo a shield to get at anything on the board. I hope I don't short anything out putting this back on. I think I just killed it. Uh-oh. I think I just killed it. Anyway, yeah, it's the way this one laces up. This is the original Betamax lace up, and if you compare it to the early 3/4 inch, they were identical, except for 3/4. This is over here because it pulls the tape out this way, and well, 3/4 was basically a mirror of, or Beta was a mirror of 3/4. 3/4 supply spool was on the right, and the take up was on the left. Beta and VHS supply on the left, take up on the right. Everything about them was different. The head drum went clockwise instead of counterclockwise, and the tape threaded the other way. But other than that, this looks just like a 3/4 inch in the way that it operates. See, now it works. But just needs help. The belt is worn out. I'm not about to replace that on a machine this age, but I thought it maybe to show you guys the fact that this machine still works. And if you look at the loading system on this, this is different. This uses just a single arm. Like all the ones that follow this had multiple guides that popped out and held the tape in different positions. This one here has a single arm. And then there's another guide over here. But this was the original design. Anyway, thanks for watching.